Astronomy compels the soul to look upwards and leads us from this world to another. Astronomy is a happy science. It has not need for decorations. Arithmetic and geometry, those wings on which the astronomer soars as high as heaven. We may therefore define astronomy as the science by which we discover the laws of the geometrical and mechanical phenomena presented by the heavenly bodies. Astronomy is the offspring of idleness. If I were asked to define theoretical astronomy in one sentence, I should say that it consists of discovering the properties of matter, partly by experiments carried out on the Earth and partly through the detailed observation of nearby space, and in then applying the results to the universe as a whole. It has been said that astronomy is a humbling and character-building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceit than this distant image of our tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another, and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we have ever known. The objects which astronomy discloses afford subjects of sublime contemplation, and tend to elevate the soul above vicious passions and groveling pursuits. Everything astronomers observe turns out to be a small and atypical fraction of what exists. No literary genius could have harvested a story 1/100th part as fantastical as the sober facts that have been unearthed by astronomical science. Astrology antedated and perhaps will survive astronomy. Simple souls are more interested in telling futures than in telling time. Astronomy to the selfish becomes astrology. The history of astronomy is a history of receding horizons. When astronomy was young, the morning stars sang together for joy, and the planets were guided in their courses by celestial hands. Superstition is to religion what astrology is to astronomy, a very stupid daughter of a very wise mother. The vastness of the field of astronomy reduces every terrestrial thing to atomic dimensions. I do not hesitate to assert that I consider astronomy as the most important force in the development of science since its origin sometime around 500 BC. Thus, astronomy was probably the first exact science, practiced long before the concept of science as such had been formulated. Mathematics may have been earlier, but I do not consider it a natural science. The mother of many kings is not necessarily a queen. The aims of astronomy are nothing less than to search for the origins of the universe and of its constituent stars and galaxies. No one can read the history of astronomy without perceiving that Copernicus, Newton, Laplace are not new men or a new kind of men, but that Thales, Anaximenes, Hipparchus, Empedocles, Aristarchus, Pythagoras, Onipides had anticipated them. Astrophysics is very humbling. You can't interfere with it. You can't pollute it. You can't change it. It's like fishing. You're just sitting there, hoping the fish will bite your bait. I'm just sitting there, passively gathering light that was emitted by a star in a galaxy 1,000,000 years ago. The astronomers, with all their hypotheses, give us no satisfying or abiding concepts of the universe. We are left as bewildered as ever. Man is slightly nearer to the atom than to the star, From his central position, man can survey the grandest works of nature with the astronomer, or the minutest works with the physicist. So, will the universe end in Big Crunch, or in an infinite expansion of dead stars, or in some other manner? In my view, the primary issue is not the mass of the universe or the possible existence of antigravity or of Einstein's so-called cosmological constant. Rather, the fate of the universe is a decision yet to be made, one which we will intelligently consider when the time is right. Put 3 grains of sand inside a vast cathedral, and the cathedral will be more closely packed with sand than space is with stars. With every passing hour, our solar system comes 43,000 miles closer to globular cluster 13 in the constellation Hercules, and still there are some misfits who continue to insist that there is no such thing as progress. In those early times, the first billion years after the solar system was formed, Mars rocks were falling on Earth in great numbers, and many Earth rocks must also have been falling on Mars. We should not be surprised if we find that life, wherever it originated, spread rapidly from one planet to another. Whatever creatures we may find on Mars will probably be either our ancestors or our cousins. The knowledge whose content makes up astronomy is the gain from more than 2,000 years' work on one of the most abundant objects of human knowledge, in which the foremost minds of all times have summed up all the resources of genius and diligence. It is easy to be overawed by the visions of the new astronomy. Many among us would prefer to retreat into a comfortable cloud of unknowing, but if we are truly interested in knowing who we are, then we must be brave enough to accept what our senses and our reason tell us. We must enter into the universe of the galaxies and the light years, even at the risk of spiritual vertigo, and know what, after all, must be known. A is for astronomy, the science of far out. B is for Big Bang, how the cosmos came about. C is for Chandrasekhar, who knew things compact. D is for dark matter, whose existence is a fact. E is for Eddington and matters radiative. F is for Faraday and wave planes rotative. G is for galaxies which fly between voids. H is for Hubble, who knew disks from ellipsoids. I is for ionization, revealing energy states. J is for Julian Day, for periodic dates. K is for Kepler and his revolution. L is for local group, a collection profusion. M is for molecular cloud, a protostellar patter. N is for neutron star, the densest of matter. O is for Oort cloud, that beyond Pluto lies. P is for photon, the coveted prize. Q is for quasar, the most energetic. R is for redshift, revealing the kinetic. S is for supernova, nucleosynthesis site. T is for telescope, gatherer of light. U is for ultraviolet, seen only from space. V is for virial theorem, an equilibrium case. W is for Wolf-Rayet star, massive and bright. X is for X-ray, where hot things emit light. Y is the fraction of helium by a mast. Z is for zenith, the highest and last. Devotion, daughter of astronomy, an undevout astronomer is mad. What poor astronomers are they? Take woman's eyes for stars. The astronomer is severely handicapped as compared with other scientists. He is forced into a comparatively passive role. He cannot invent his own experiments as the physicist, the chemist, or the biologist can. He cannot travel about the universe examining the items that interest him. He cannot, for example, skin a star like an onion and see how it works inside. Astronomy is for the mind of gods, astrology for simpletons. I turn the handle and the story starts. Reel after reel is all astronomy, till life, enkindled in a niche of sky, leap on the stage to play a million parts. There is in space a small black hole, through which, say our astronomers, the whole damn thing, the universe, must one day fall. That will be all.